So you want to create a dazzling portfolio for a customer, a portfolio that will display his name drops and his logos on an assortment of garments and caps that are appropriately colored for his market. We call that a name drop presentation. To create one, you start by visiting the Reps Only website and then click on the Start Art Request button. That opens up a form. You fill in the appropriate fields with the information requested, then click on the Submit button, and in 24 hours you'll receive a reply via email from our sales department letting you know whether or not it's been approved, and if so, the message will include a PO number. This one says 1392-8. That 8 lets you know that you can request 8 different garments and caps on this name drop presentation. And then there are attached instructions reminding you that this isn't just any old sales order. You will use AX to enter it, but there are certain restrictions. First of all, you need to remember that new art and art modification is not allowed, and neither are coloring notes and name drop notes. You'll enter the approval code in the purchase order field on the order, reminding both of you how many lines you're actually allowed on this presentation. And finally, you won't enter the style numbers that you see in our catalog. Instead, you'll enter one of 4 different presentation art style numbers. They're all listed for you here, either a men's, a women's, youth, or a cap name drop presentation number. Armed with that information, you're now ready to actually enter the order. To do so, open up a typical sales order using your personal account, not the customer account. Insert the PO number that you were given, again reminding you that that 8 is letting you know that you've been approved for 8 lines on this order. Then select a requested ship date that's at least one week in the future, and now you're ready to actually add lines to the order. Do that just the way you would any order by clicking on the Create Line button. Type in the number, and as soon as you enter it, in this case it was a men's presentation art number, you'll then be prompted in this yellow box to enter the actual style number that you want and the color that you want. Once you've entered the color, you'll see a silhouette appropriately colored for the style that you've actually requested. Now we'll add some art to it, just as we always do. Enter the art ID, select the location. Notice I've selected an iconable design because that's a very common request, and yes, you are allowed to insert any other icon that already exists, and you can also use the Create Modify Options button to select a new icon. Just remember that the system will not allow you to create new art, and it will not allow you to create an art modification. I know the existing icon that I want to use, so I enter that number. And sure enough, there's the banana slug that will replace the Wailea seahorses in the default design. Now I'm ready to actually enter name drops. Just remember that the name drop notes box will be grayed out for you, and you cannot enter any information in that area. Time for coloring guidance. We enter that just as we always do. I now have all the art in place, the name drop, the icon that I want. Then, having entered all the information that I need, I go to the Approvals tab, check the Art Approval box. You enter your name, your email address, and then save and close. As you return to the original screen, you'll notice that the first line in your order is in place, but it does not list the style you requested. It only shows this as the template for men's presentation art. You can disregard the price that shows up here. Once you've entered every line and every line's been approved, you won't be charged for anything. But we will create automatically a compiled PDF showing you every item that you requested line by line on the garments you requested, with the art you requested, and the name drops you requested. You email that to your customer, and then you and the customer can decide which lines you actually want to order. When it's time to do that, you'll simply copy this order, changing the account of the customer, using this PDF to fill in the appropriate information. That's a topic for another session.